Hello and welcome to the Evo India YouTube channel, and today I'm joined by the all-new Royal Enfield Guerrilla 450. As the name suggests, this is based on the new Himalayan 450 platform, which has the same engine. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you a quick walk around of this motorcycle, telling you exactly what you need to know on what's new and what this motorcycle is all about front. The main ride review is going to come a little later on the 27th, so stay tuned for that. In the meanwhile, let me tell you all about this Royal Enfield 450 Guerrilla. Now, starting with the styling, as you can see, this is all new. This is a whole new direction for Royal Enfield, and this is a whole new type of motorcycle for the Royal Enfield. In theory, this is the spiritual successor to the Hunter 350, but what Royal Enfield is doing here is something all new, because what they are trying to do is create a neo-retro roadster and not a heritage roadster. And on the design front, that is very evident. As you can see, you have a similarly shaped tank to the Himalayan, but it's different in dimensions. It's slashed from the top, it's placed lower down. The entire look and vibe of the motorcycle is that of a proper neo-retro roadster. You have a nice wide handlebar, you have a short 780mm seat height, so that should be comfortable for riders of most heights. How that actually feels, I will tell you in the first ride review. You have a continuous single piece seat and this very nice funky styling, and Royal Enfield is accentuating that styling very well with a whole bunch of different funky colors. This one in particular really does catch my eye with the yellow and the purple accents on it. Now, styling aside, there's a lot more to talk about on that front, which I will cover on the review. But one major thing that you will notice on this motorcycle that is different from other Royal Enfields barring the Hunter is the 17-inch front wheel. So keeping true to the roadster title that this bike gets, this gets a proper 17-inch front wheel and a 17-inch wheel at the rear as well. In terms of the exact tire that's fit on it, you get a 120 section tire at the front and a 160 tire at the rear. So that really does add to the visual mass and the visual appeal of the motorcycle as well. Now, coming to the engine, this is the same Sherpa 450 engine as you find on the Himalayan 450. It's running the same gear ratios as well, but again, because this is a ride-by-wire throttle system, Royal Enfield had the freedom to change the tuning and the map a fair bit. So Royal Enfield tells us that it's running a slightly more aggressive tune. How that actually feels in the real world is something we will tell you in the ride review. Now, the final drive has changed from the Himalayan 450. The internal gearbox ratios are the same. The final drive, the rear tooth has gone down 2 teeth. So 47 tooth sprocket was what you had on the Himalayan 450. This Guerrilla 450, it gets a 45 tooth rear sprocket. That's the performance aspect covered. So you have the same 39.5 bhp and 40 Newton meters of torque. I told you about the suspension already. The braking hardware is also slightly different now because of the size of the rim and the way the width is a lot more than the 90 section on the Himalayan. Another major change is the suspension. As you can see, you don't get the upside down showas that you do on the Himalayan 450. You get right side up telescopic forks, and the monoshock looks largely similar, but the function is a little different and even the travel is different. You get 140 mm of travel at the front, you get 150 mm of travel at the rear. Now, in terms of dimensions, again, this is a big departure from the Himalayan because that has a very different function and a very different purpose, and this has a very different function and a purpose. So Royal Enfield has not just picked up the frame, put it on this bike, put smaller wheel and called it a day. They have done comprehensive work to make sure that this meets the roadster criteria. So to that end, the main frame and the subframe are largely the same units, but a lot of work has gone into them. So the main frame is shorter, you have different steering angles, the steering geometry is also completely different. You have a tighter rake, a shorter trail. Even the rear subframe is a little shorter. You have a slightly shorter swing arm, which has in turn tightened up the wheelbase quite a bit. Around 70 mm is the difference in the wheelbase between this and the Himalayan. The exact number will be on the screen right now. So this is running a 310mm disc at the front. The essential braking hardware apart from the rotor is the same, but Royal Enfield tells us that the calibrations are different, again, for roadster use and not for adventure bike use. Again, something that we will find out when we do ride the bike and tell you our first ride opinions. So there are 2 variants as far as I know, 3 variants essentially, but 2 mechanically different variants where you get a different screen. This has the TFT cluster that you find on the Himalayan. You also get one similar to that of the Supermeter with the tripper pod as an optional extra, and then the other things that separate the variants are the colorways. Apart from that, the other changes are also obviously ergonomic. You get a slightly different riding stance. Again, that's bound to happen. The riding stance has been positioned forward, and like I said, the 780mm seat height should also make it very accessible. So that's a quick brief walk around of this motorcycle. What do you think about it? Do let me know in the comment section down below. And I know all of y'all are very eager to find out what this is like to ride, and we will be getting you all those answers on the 27th of July. But in the meanwhile, thank you for watching, and do let me know what you think about this bike in the comment section down below.